Hello everybody, my name is Abimelech and welcome to my first attempt at doing a YouTube video. You might have seen my work before if you're not familiar with the name. I do car renderings on Instagram and Facebook. It's just crazy ideas that I come up with and I like to explore those ideas. So it's all CGI, Photoshop, a lot of people call it different things. It's done in the computer, it's all digital, it's a virtual representation of a car that doesn't exist. So today's video, it's all about that. I wanted to take you through the creative process that goes into building one of these sets of renderings. Like what you see on Instagram, it's the finished product, but what goes into it, it's a very interesting process and it's a lot of fun in my opinion. So let's go into it. Let's dive right into it. So the car that we're gonna be doing today on this video, it's an interesting idea, I would say, that I had a while back and I was saving for something like this. It's gonna be a what if car. Now these what ifs, quote, they're kind of like a series of cars that I've been doing, and they're basically cars that never ever existed but could have existed. Something that is actually feasible, something that could have been done at the time, so everything has to be period correct, but for some reason it didn't exist, it didn't ever happen. So some examples of this are the 1959 Cadillac Escalade. This never existed, this is not real, it's all concept study, something like that, design study you could call it. So it's all made up. 1969 Trackhawk Wagoneer, not a chance that happened. 1969 Charger Hellcat, 1990s Lexus LFA, all these cars didn't exist, but I just wanted to explore the idea of what if they existed. So it's fun to have a visual representation, so it doesn't end like just an idea. It's actually something that you can see, something that you can read, like the ads and so on and so forth. So today's car is a 1990, let's say 1993, 1994. No, yeah, 1994, because that's when the SN95 Mustang came out. 1994 Ford Mustang COSWORTH. Now the COSWORTH was just the European super sport Fords, right? They used turbo engines, very good turbo engines, 4 cylinders. The Escort was all-wheel drive. The Sierra was just one of the fastest cars in the road in Europe at that time. It actually was stolen quite a lot because they were Ford Sierras at the end of the day, just very, very fast. So what are we gonna be looking at today is what if Ford wanted to take that Escort COSWORTH feel and mechanicals to the US. Obviously, I think they would have done it in the Mustang. I don't think they would have done it for the Escort because the Escort was a completely different car to European Escort. So I think they would have done a Mustang. So in 1993, I could be wrong, the SN95 came out. It was this roundy looking Mustang. Not a lot of people like them. I personally think they look okay. So what if it got the treatment of the Escort COSWORTH? So let's have a look at it. So the first thing that I do when I'm making one of these is once I have the idea, in this case the Escort Mustang, not Escort Mustang, but Mustang COSWORTH, sorry. Once that is set, I then choose a year. In this case, as I said, it's gonna be 1994, because that's when the SN95 came out, like this new body style. It replaced the old Fox body Mustang that we love. And the Escort COSWORTH was doing well in Europe. So I think if I recall correctly, the Escort COSWORTH was launched in 1992 and it was discontinued in 1997. Yeah, I think. So it was actually pretty contemporary to the Mustang, to the SN95. So that is going to be our year, 1994 Ford Mustang COSWORTH. Now, the base model that we got, well, our muse, if you will, is gonna be the Escort RS COSWORTH, because I think it's the closest to the Mustang, because the Escort was also sold in the US, although it was different Escort, but the nameplate was alive nonetheless. Ford also sold the Sierra COSWORTH, which was a bit bigger. It was a 4-door sedan and hatchback thing. It was actually sold in North America as well under the Mercure, I'm not sure how it's pronounced that, nameplate. It was actually I like that too, but I think the Escort is closer to the Mustang. So that's where we're gonna take our inspiration from. Of course, we have to take some key elements that we're gonna transplant directly, which are gonna be, it has to be turbocharged, it has to have the wing. The Escort RS wing, it's one of those things that you think right away when somebody says Escort COSWORTH or COSWORTH in general, you right away think in that beautiful wing that actually I like it. It's crazy, but I like it. So the wing, it's gonna go on the Mustang, and we're gonna make it work. That we have a big advantage here, that the Mustang shares a lot of the design language with the Escort. So I think, I don't know, I'm not sure until I see it, but I think everything is gonna translate very well. Let's get into it. Okay, so right now I'm in a software called Blender. Now this software is mainly used for modeling, because it's actually really good for that. And you can do renderings as well, but I use it mainly for modeling. And right now you can see that we are doing the wing. Now I took this wing from an already existing model of an Escort COSWORTH. We are adapting it to the Mustang shape, which is fairly different to the Escorts, but the design itself, the cues, the language, it actually fits really well, and I'm really pleased with how it looks. I really liked it. I like it way more than I thought I would. So, of course, the hatchback shape of the Escort is way more prominent or raked, as unlike the Mustang's fastback shape. So we're tweaking the wing to fit better on the Mustang, but still look like the Escort wing. So the changes are very subtle. Now, of course, I'm skipping a lot of the actual process just to keep this entertaining. I spent about 2 hours and a bit doing this, like changing parts, changing splitters, trying bumpers, trying wheels, and that's just the name of the game. That's how it goes normally. So there's a lot of trying stuff, see what I like, see what looks better. That's the exhaust, of course, single exit, because it's supposed to have a 4-cylinder turbo. And this is actually a very important part of the Escort puzzle, of the COSWORTH puzzle, which is the hood scoop. Very interesting shape, kind of oval egg look like. So I really wanted to incorporate these scoops on the Mustang's hood, and I think it looks really well. Again, the design cues of this Mustang generation are very similar to the Escorts. I actually never thought about it until I was making this. So yeah, it was fairly easier than I thought it would. We had to leave less space between the scoops, because the Escort's hood is way wider than the Mustang. So there's less space, but you really don't notice it. I think it looks the same. Now there's just a couple details left, like the wider fenders and for the wider wheels, of course. I chose these rally wheels, which could have been a dealer option, maybe, I don't know. They're not OZs like the rally, like the Group A cars, but they look alike. So yeah, that's what we're going with. And of course, the little details like this, the badge, the COSWORTH the badge where the COSWORTH name is gonna be displayed and on the rear. And now we jump over to Keyshot. This software is mainly used for renderings. You can also do animations, and you basically go through the whole thing. Like each part of the model, you're gonna assign a material, whether it is glass, leather, paint, whatever, plastic. You have to go through the whole car, and that's how it's gonna come together. This is my favorite part, honestly, because it's just so fun to see the model come together and look like an actual car instead of the clay model that you've been working with. And after this, I usually do a couple different colors, see what I like, and the lighting is very important. Like the environment you put the model in, you're gonna see this in a bit. It's very important because it changes dramatically. So I chose this Ford Performance Blue, and this is just an example of how it's gonna look like. Now this is Photoshop. These are the already rendered images, which I'm gonna show you in a bit. And I'm doing the ad. This is my favorite part because it's just so fun looking through old ads to create my own of a car that actually never existed. So I'm right now on the screen, you can see a few of the adverts that I went through. This Fox, these are all from the 1990 to 1995 period. So they're all in the style, that's the style that we're going for. And the Ford Tauros, the Sierra, another Sierra. So all that, it's just so interesting to me. I really, really like reading the old adverts, taking phrases, trying to analyze the way they were written, the words that they were using at that time. Sometimes you can stumble across pretty cheesy adverts, but that's the fun of it. I copied a little bit of the red Mustang GT ad with the 4 different images on top, and just some publicity lines on top, on the bottom, the 2-liter turbocharged engine, the unique COSWORTH badging, the wing, etc., etc. All these things that you would think could attract people to actually go into the dealership and ask about the new COSWORTH Mustang. Now a little bit of color tweaking, and the title, of course. Now the price is $24,300, so that is about $40,000 today, and it was a lot of money back then. I think the Mustang Cobra from this year, I think it was $21,000, and that was the most expensive Mustang. So this, of course, would have been the more expensive car, and only for those that know what it is. And now I'm writing these words that it's just these little details that give the ad a little bit more credibility. It's about warranties and use the seatbelt when you're driving and stuff like that. And once that is done, of course, this is also very I skipped through a lot. I actually stared at a lot of adverts, a lot of pages, reading about the Escort, reading about the Mustang to come to this final product. But yeah, a little bit of aging, like to make it look like an old print. And this is how it looks like at the end. This is the final product. Well, that's it. That's how these renderings are made. That's how I do it. That's my creative process that I go through with each rendering. Not just the what ifs, but every rendering starts life as just an idea. So if you liked it, please let me know. Let me know how could I make these videos better. If you want to keep watching them, if you want me to change up some stuff. I'm all ears. As I said, this is my first time doing this, so I really I would appreciate your input on these. So I hope you liked it, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you found it entertaining. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for the support here on YouTube, on Instagram, and Facebook, wherever you follow me. All the links are gonna be in the description, and also the software that I use is gonna be as well written on the description. So again, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. See you next time.